Okay, I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we'll move right on to item C, which is public comments. We do offer public comment both in person and virtually. We do not have anybody with us here today, so.
I'm not seeing any attendees on.
Well, so we'll move right on to minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the attached July 17th, 2021 minutes? Motion. Second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, passes. We move on to correspondence received 7/16/2024 to 8/19/2024. We have nothing included in our agenda package.
I didn't want to include all of the
We'll take your word. And we'll talk about that in a little bit when we get to the communication. Very popular event, so which is wonderful. But I do also want to remind any community members that might watch this meeting after the fact, we certainly will still have the ability to use our contact form on our webpage. Please use that for questions, anything that you have for us, comments. Please continue to communicate with us, and we'll make sure to respond back to you. So we'll move right on to reports. First is F1 chair report. We've got a lot to get through tonight, so I'm going to keep it short, but very big week for us this week and beginning next week. So just congratulations to everybody in the room. Unbelievable accomplishment to date. We all know that there's work still ahead of us, and but I hope we all can take in the moment on Monday when we do the ribbon cutting, and if we get the opportunity to see the school is unbelievable. It's pretty awe-inspiring. So just my personal thank you to all of you, even at this point in the project and being there at the table many hours. It's just very much appreciated, and I'm so proud to have been part of this effort with this team. So heartfelt thank you to everybody here. Again, we'll love on it. We got more to do, but don't want to take the opportunity. Want to keep everything like that. So, and then I also want to make sure you know, welcome Dan. So Dan, how are you? Dan said all right meeting. I didn't say hello. You got to do a quick introduction for us, Dan, so you can get it.
Sure. I'm Dan June. I am the interim assistant superintendent of finance operations. I'm just here Sam and Scott. But I'm really excited. It's my first week here. Had a chance to meet a lot of people, and I'm just really excited. Great energy, so fun. I'm really excited to contribute.
Yeah, we're happy to have you as part of the team. We all feel like we know you because we get the press release and
But you know, it's just high school, new bus company, facility.
just try to make it the first week.
Floyd, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move right on to F2 Town Council Liaison Report. No report. All right, Board of Education Liaison. Nothing. Everybody's quiet for now. It's all gonna be ramping up though. You know. 1928 Building Committee Liaison Report, Chris.
Yeah, can you hear me, Meg? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because the acoustics coming from the room are not the best. I just want to make sure you can hear me. The 28 building committee met on July 30th. I was on vacation, but I can report in that we awarded the contract for site work to the same contractor who's doing the site work for our building project. The bid came in just slightly above our estimate, but we figured they were the low bidder and can get some economies of scale with that. So we have a good experience with them. So we appointed the site work contracting, and then Kat can maybe give a quick update, but to where we are, but we reviewed at the meeting, the drawings and specs, and approved the final plans and project manuals to sort of have a timeline for the renovation bid package that was going to be released on the 2nd, and the site walkthrough for interested contractors on the 16th. Then September 10th, the bid opening, and September 17th, at our next meeting, we award the bid package. So I don't know, Kat, if you want to just see if some of those time points have been met.
So we did have to push some of those timelines very slightly. The bid package is out. The walkthrough is the first week in September, and bids will be opened September 24th. So just had to amend a few things very slightly in order to get the bid out. So the bid is out on the street, and we look forward to seeing who shows up for the mandatory walkthrough. I believe it's September 3rd.
Any thoughts on what kind of responsible?
Nothing yet.
But do we think have we heard any chatter? Do people know? Are they
Oh, yeah,
interested?
people know. Yeah, contractors know. I'm sure we'll get a handful of bids on it. We're gonna borrow money from the Board of Ed, Cat, and Grieger, other food that. Thank you. Anyway,
My pleasure.
we're excited about it. It's taking a lot of consensus contractors that walk through, and that'll be the telltale sign is how many people show up for the walk through. Good.
Excellent.
Okay, and
All right,
then
any questions on 1928?
that's it. No, that's good.
All right, thank you, Chris. We'll go right on to architect report.
So TSKP is fine tuning the grandstand and the emergency vehicle access to the stadium with comments back from the town of Farmington. And once that's finalized, we'll kind of retroceding a landscape architect will kind of prepare this package, the grandstand proposal request package. Then we're also working on the tennis court lighting, like fixtures, the sports lighting. And our food service consultant, Crabtree McGrath, was in the building this morning doing their punch list of the kitchen and service spaces and other culinary spaces. And we'll get the report back tomorrow from them. And PSKP, like yesterday, we went back, we reviewed the ready to inspect punch list items for area B, that was yesterday. And tomorrow and day after, my colleague and I will be punch listing the shops, the area C decorated shops, D1 spaces, the athletic spaces, the cafeteria and main concourse spaces, the first, second, and third floor. And we also reviewing for area F sample office. We are also reviewing the hardware sets, the door hardware sets too. So, any questions?
Anticipate the grandstand, we'll have that probably at our meeting next month.
Yeah, I mean, I think once the flow, I think Michael sent you the final flow plan. So once the sketch is final, then we work on.
It'll be done before that. It should be over to OMG pricing tomorrow, Friday.
Right, so just to get an accurate data, on how we can some of our next steps. Any other questions? All right. Move right on to construction manager report.
Thank you, Nick. I'll be quick. There's been a lot of activity. It's exciting. First day, teachers arrived. Ross, how many teachers roughly?
Well, in total in the building, so yeah, including certified of 100 teachers. So that's awesome.
And some probably have their kids for tours and whatnot, but
Yeah.
it's exciting. So the high school is substantially complete. Do it on TCO on the building for 30 days of complete open items. So that will be done. The auditorium will be for a few weeks. They're working on the millwork, which is over. All the auditorium seating is done. Aisle lighting, carpeting will be installed next week. Stage flooring is going in now. Stage rigging is all complete. Stage lighting. The stage is going to start this past Monday, and it'll wrap up this week. The Black Box Theater as well. but all other spaces have been turned over to the school, and it's really exciting today to see everybody back and going through their activities. Kitchen, we passed health inspections yesterday, so Crabtree, Crabtree's, I meant to say Chartwell, but Crabtree will do their punch list. We'll get training this Friday, official training, but we did an unofficial training last Friday, just to verify that equipment was operational. So that's fully complete. Final cleaning is complete. We are doing some additional cleaning post movers. So we will have crews readily available Friday, Saturday, and Monday to make sure the building is spotless to assist also the custodial staff. There is a lot of activity and building will look spotless. Parking lot, the testing and balancing commissioning is in progress. It always lags a little bit, but that will be wrapped up in September as far as the official report. That's through the third party testing and balancing agency, James Brennan through IES, your commissioning agent. All the parking lots are paved, line striped, including Glenteith Drive. There are additional student parking, which additional 99 space. We're turning over earlier than expected. That will all be binder paved this Friday and line striped for the start of school, and for the ribbon cutting ceremony will be available for overflow parking. Final landscaping is happening throughout, but there is landscaping that takes place early spring when the final phase gets done at the lower level town parking lot and also around the 1920 building. As I've reported in the past, we are dealing with a supply chain issue, a temporary generator. We're still projecting that to be in October. I'm bringing will coordinate that to make sure that it doesn't affect school operations. Canopy glass came up as an issue this month. It is shipping out in September, but the canopy glass that was a supply chain issue as well. But we have confirmation that it is en route to the job site. Area F, central office renovations, the old high school demolition, mass demolition continues at the far end of the campus. That's going well. All the abatement work is pretty much all set. Just working on some upper windows of the old gym. They do have health department approval to do that work. But that'll be wrapped up in the next, actually probably this week. Some middles are nearing completion for area F with hardware set and a few others, those tennis courts. That will start October timeframe, latter part of October, early November. Drone shots. I did have JJC drones here today. There's a lot of activity in the building. They took shots of the gymnasium. I'm having them come back here Saturday. There's little activity. There'll be construction work, but we'll get some nice clean shots of the cafeteria and the main concourse areas. Then we'll do some professional shots in before October's open house, so that we have interior classroom spaces. And that's all I have to report on. If there's any questions, been a busy month.
Any questions for clarification?
Two questions. First, the two questions I have are more on the security side of things. How are we dealing with fire, life safety planning, drills, all that stuff's working?
Yes, that's all been inspected. Part of the TCO is all life safety is fully functioning, testing, calling out. It actually prior to the TCO was calling out the last 2 weeks for the fire department. But that's fully reviewed.
They're feeling good about how it's working, the fire marshal's good. And is staff feeling comfortable about how to be using these security functions or fire functions? I know they just literally packed the building today, but that's all new stuff of what is this sound and where do I go to figure out where the fire alarm is pulled or something? Yeah, I mean, I can share that, it was our first day, fully back there today, and we did have, a full portion of our day was on safety and security, where we went over the measures. So, we will do practice drills this week with faculty, and then we will do multiple drills in September. And we've been working really closely with, fire and police as well, until they've been awesome partners, working on fire escape routes, muster points outside of the school, and all that stuff. So the community partners have been awesome. And then the other security question I have is, because you're gonna have commissioning agents, you're gonna have people in doing punch list stuff. What's the protocol for people being in the building while you're in school?
We're having a meeting tomorrow with school administrators. This is going to be similar to one renovation. On our other renovation jobs that we have, where you have to do punch list work off hours, which is the second shift, but it all gets coordinated with the school construction. It's going to be day construction with areas that are completely locked out of like the auditorium. There's a check-in, but there's going to be a meeting with myself, Ross, town school administrators. That was at our LEC meetings, and before any work takes place, my students are here. That there will be a security check-in protocol.
And you're good with that?
And then, yeah, I think we have had this conversation a few times, even when we work in the same building, how important it is for our students and our faculty and staff to have separation when it comes to, you know, the workers there up at the high school. And so we've had many discussions about really clear expectations about coming into contact with staff, faculty, and students. High school, unlike other schools, is open all the time. So you can't find a shift, maybe the middle of the night, but you can't find a shift where students aren't going to be there. So I think it's a conversation with students, it's a conversation with faculty and staff, and everyone that's on campus, and really clear expectations. And you know, we would be saying, you report anything and everything to us. If there was any concerns, whether it's a parent who's dropping off, whether it's a faculty or staff member, a student, I know you want to hear from us if anything is, you know, concerning. But we've had many discussions about setting very clear expectations of what we expect. You know, when it comes to having, you know, various workers in our schools. So it's very important. You know, we're lucky we do have an SRO up there, you know, all the time. Other schools would share an SRO, but up there we have someone there all the time, and we have monitors there. So there's always adults that you can go to, coaches, different people, if there was a concern. And we also have again security with cameras. There's not going to be a place that you could find, right? Like we're going to be able to see what goes on, and you know, so if a concern was brought to us, hopefully we'd be able to investigate anything like that. But we're really hoping that we're going to have a positive interaction, and you know, with anyone who's up at the building, and you know, that's our expectation.
And I think sometimes in security, as you say, communication, you could have faculty that see somebody around, like, oh, great, could you fix this thing in my room? And you're thinking, no, don't make it that. That's not. Yeah.
So I'm just going to add one thing briefly. Our company has protocols as well. Structural workers have high visibility, are identified on their badge. No one's in the building without a supervisor. You have to be in a specific spot, such as, let's say, the auditorium, where it's sealed off from the rest of the school. But they still have to check in like a visitor with our superintendent, who is stationed in that area at the same time. So we have our protocols, and that's where tomorrow we're going to set, you know, the expectations document. That's what everybody has to do. We work it out with high schools, and that's.
Do you feel that your commissioning work is obviously gone in and balanced the system to some degree, but now there's going to be a lot more people in the building, and
You know,
that's
the commissioning that takes place on the testing and balancing, it's substantially in progress.
Okay.
And that's a technician with a 10. We're up to
Or do you feel as though you're gonna have to rebalance a lot once you get human beings?
no. They do their testing and balancing, they have their parameters of what the system is supposed to be at. And there'll be some activity on the roof, but again, it's gonna be in coordination with the school where it's not. Kids aren't gonna be remaining or staff, and as far as your question about somebody grabbing over, like a teacher saying, oh, I want an electrical outlet.
What's in the right place?
We already, with Sam Kilpatrick in the facilities, there's a protocol of teacher goes to one of their administrators, and then the administrator goes to facilities, and there's a Google Doc where if a concern or the question comes up, gets vetted, so that you don't have a litany of wants when it, there's.
So would that Google Doc be in addition to what we're tracking in terms of punch list stuff?
Not, so what we will do is, the first thing we will do is we'll match it up with the punch list. If it already exists on the punch list, then we're gonna take it all back. If we think it legitimately should be added to the punch list, then we'll work to continue to add.
That process is basically controls just these requests all over the place. And it's a structured process.
Yeah, and I think once you have users in the school, you are going to have more punch list items. They're in the classroom, they're using the technology, they're moving furniture around, they're going to see if something's unfinished, and we want to know those things. And so that is something, we've talked about when it comes to that Google Doc, to say, is this a punch list item, is it already on there, or is this something we add to it? Or was there something else that happened here, and this is more internal that we're gonna have to address? So.
Russ, are you helping with this? No. You're not.
Russ, it's always. It doesn't matter.
That's gonna be a lot, I mean, that really is gonna be a lot. Because as you say, somebody's gonna get in there, and they're gonna be like, well, those lights over there don't work, this whole electrical strip over here, you're really perfect. Things happen, and that's,
Once
Yeah.
you're actually utilizing the building and individuals are in there, we do expect, well, gee, that's not working the way we thought, so.
And just to avoid any concerns, after that, this process that will take a few weeks, but, is it on the punch list already corrected? There's also a 1 month walk that we do with the warranty period. Before your warranties expire, we go again, the whole team, inspect classrooms, and just like another punch list, and that's a warranty. So if there's actually a true warranty item and it's not a maintenance item, then the contractors have to fix it within that 1 month period.
before the warranty expires.
Before the warranty expires.
I will say, just being up there with teachers, how appreciative they are and in awe they are of the building. It's really exciting to be a teacher right now at FHS, because it is unlike any building, even as we've been out at different various schools, it's like no other. And so I think they just feel such gratitude to all of you and to this community for what has been created at the top of the hill. I know, Russ, you've heard it even more than I have, but it is universal to everyone I've spoken to, just how honored they feel that they have this facility. And I know our students, we did have some class of 2024 students in to put the time capsules, a 10-year for the class of 2024 and a 50-year, which will all happen together. But I have to say, they have been relating to us. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe we're in this building and it's real. So, and all of them are like, my university is in this. And I said, like, this is amazing.
And I'll recommend that everyone's.
All right, any other questions or thoughts on that? All right, so we're right to, project management, no, I'm sorry, yeah, project management.
Not much more to say than what Elton did. Nothing really going on anymore. We got these. We've been busy. It's been, tell, a lot of work going on, a lot of things going on. Bruce Mitchell's been busy, Sam's busy. We're all busy doing a lot of things. Making sure that we got to that TCO level yesterday. Last night at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, it was processed. So we got through that. It's a big step, big milestone. So some COs on the agenda tonight. We have a couple that'll be coming up for next month. Large, you know, the bleachers, retaining wall that we need because the grading is wrong next to the southeast corner of the track. We have, so going through a project this size, as Michael mentioned, these things that we're just going to really anticipate. Garbage cans wasn't included with the FF&E package. So we have to provide, you know, put garbage cans in. So we went through the decision-making group for change order. Obviously, full stand and move forward. We rushed through that group because we need garbage cans.
I just picked everything up today.
Sweet can back.
You'll get that.
We have a bag and a little. All right. So we have a cost savings of $9,280. So it's a non-reimbursable item, but obviously necessitated by the need of it. We have a ribbon cutting on Monday. We are put through a audio visual cost so that people can hear when everybody gets up and does their speeches, especially Pat and Devin. So that everyone, and, you know, it's the 1,000+ people. Who are gonna this thing.
I can project.
Yeah, you can project very loud.
You're not gonna scan it, you're doing this.
So that's, that cost for Monday night is $2,200, non-reimbursable. We have the all famous convocation taking place in school on Friday. Our audio visual is lagging. We have a couple of breakers that we need connection points for the AV. So in order to accomplish the convocation in the gym, there's a cost of $6,100 for that audio visual programming, microphones and speakers and everything else that's required for that convocation for Friday morning. So that went through the decision-making group. They are on the BCO list. And one thing that Archana alluded to was the tennis court lighting. As you all know, we have tennis courts on the existing high school with play at night. We found out the last week that the lighting wasn't proposed to be the same to be able to play at night. So we're making that change to make sure that it is 4 courts are playable and lit. So that will be an additional change order. We're working through pricing right now and suppliers to make sure that we get the best price possible for that. And then just the change orders that have already been approved by the decision-making group are on there. They're on our agendas related. But going through this process, it's a large scale project, right? We have a lot of things that come up and process a lot of things, construct the whole school itself. I gotta say, OMG 13 has been fantastic. There is a lot of days where we have difficult discussions, but we get through it, right? It's a partnership as a team, as Russ mentioned before, like haven't done the treatment plant. That was the biggest project. This is the biggest project that we're taking on so far. And that was a great team we had there with the contractor. But here it's just different. They had brought such an experienced team to it that a lot of anticipated items are taken care of ahead of time, so that it doesn't become a lot of, you know, there are a lot of change orders that but there's a lot that have taken place ahead of time, so it doesn't become a change order. And I credit them for a lot of their experience and how many projects they've done, and they're able to anticipate certain things that save the town even more money. So I just wanna, this is an unsolicited promotion.
So if you have to have, it's the 5.
In all seriousness, though, it's really been, you know, you don't wake up at 3 in the morning going, oh, I gotta go face shorts. You know, it's like I call them, text them, saying, else, and it's a non-issue. Anything that comes up, they just want to address it and fine, and it really is a, you know, gratitude to them and their experience and what they brought to this project. We wouldn't be here, in my opinion, at this point in time. I think we'd be somewhere in January. I think I've said it before, that George said it best back, I think it was about 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago. You can keep adding all these things, but Mike said, I only have like, whatever it was, 62 Saturdays or whatever the number, like 82 Saturdays. And that stuck with me, and it really is a true testament of how hard this project was to construct from a time standpoint. So we've added a couple $2 million worth of change orders to the project, but the only thing I never changed was the end date. Right, so regardless of why the change order was necessitated, it still was incorporated. A lot of these things took time, but we didn't have time to add to the job. So I know people come through and they, oh, there don't seem to be a lot of people on the job. I don't know. There's a lot of doubt in the last couple of weeks. Yeah. We got. No, but I mean, it's like, all this really, like, you added a lot of work to this project, right? There are a lot of things that were needed to be added and for whatever reason, but we couldn't add time. And that's the one thing we never really talked about was when you look at a change order, 0 days added, 0 days added, but when it takes somebody, a contract sub to do, you know, add in how many data ports have we added?
We had 2 per classroom.
That's it. But then the home runs to go with it, and the time it takes to get those and relocate them, it's always, and I go, like, oh my God, it's 0 days, but we're paying for 2 weeks worth of contracted time. It really was a concerted effort. So I just want to put that out for the committee that there were a lot of things that were added, but we could not change this date. And as I said last night, we're at 4 and 7. I mean, we're like a lot of things had to fall into place, and they did. A lot of credit. Really think that's what it all. Unsolicited, unpaid. But thanks. We'll do more. We'll do the PCO.
Great, thank you for the comments. Any other questions or thoughts? Great, we'll go right on to owner's revenue management report, Chris.
Starting with move management, we're at 99% complete for the move over from the existing. There are several areas that, once they're complete, those items will be brought over. As far as the FF&E goes, new FF&E, that is at 99%. We actually had the library shelving show up today, and it is complete. And we have several tables installed and books on it. So that's great to hear. We did have TSAP out to the punch list on the first round of punches. Furniture that's been installed. We know they have to come back and do their second round. So that end of it is going very well. And obviously with school starting, that's what we would anticipate. Project management wise, continue on punch list. Never ending task. It's been gone from punch listing and to-do list to now actually going back. I'm back punching now and checking those items that were not installed before and adding potential items from that to the punch list. So that will be coming through. Be wrapping up areas like the corridors, the roof area, the exterior, the stairwells, that will be coming next week or two. And closeout documents, been working with LNG. I know they've had a process through TSKB. I will be, once they share the file, then start tabulating that, see where we stand. It appears that we do have quite a bit of it already that's been submitted. And area F, continuing reviewing the standards.
Questions? We should mention too that how aggressive the rules timeline was as well. So that it's impressive that this was able to happen the way it did. So thank you for that effort. We know when you're going in that one's going to be tight. So
She's very efficient.
yeah. I mean, I know so many moving parts in all of that. So all right, any questions for Chris?
I have a question that I probably connected to both of you. And you're talking about sort of wrapping up different documents. Are we up to date with as-built drawings based upon some of the things that?
We do monthly verifications before we release with them to trade contractors, so that we don't get to the end of the project and they're trying to recreate. So, the official as-built hasn't been, there's still some change order work that's progress. But, yeah, we don't have a surprise yet.
Michael's, as-built that was required for the PTO. We received, it's a partial because obviously work isn't complete, but for the building itself, everything is right where it needed to be. So good.
That's great.
Right, any other questions or thoughts, Chris? All right, communications subcommittee report. If we're really going to focus on the ribbon cutting tab, if you want to give us a quick overview. Where we're standing.
So the ribbon cutting, as of today, we have 783 registered attendees. That is 281 separate registrations, so 281 households have registered for a total of over 700. We are expecting probably around 1,000 because registration is not required. So we have been just managing the logistics of that. Obviously, parking is a concern. We have parking passes being issued to those that registered. Building committee, town council, and board of ed will receive premier parking passes, so be on the lookout for those to go and designated parking lot. Oh yeah, we got it all there. We have the ribbon, a customized Farmington High School ribbon. We also have a backup ribbon, just in case, and we have scissors. We have it all. We have scissors. We have some state and federal and local officials that will be speaking. So it's going to be a really, really well attended event. A lot of effort has gone on with the communications subcommittee, and myself, Kathy, Russ, and Dan have been meeting to kind of make sure all the logistics are hammered out and that it's as smooth as possible for us.
Where do you have them?
I'm so happy.
There's no chance.
There will be a parking map that will be distributed to everybody. Premier parking will be at the front lot in lot C that we're designating this as. That is like the main visitor entrance lot. That'll be there. Those that registered will be in the back lot where the teachers park, and that temporary lot that has about 99 spots. And those that are not registered will be directed to the temporary lot by the library or town hall. We have our CERT team and the police department will be on site to kind of direct all the traffic. So glad you asked. Yeah, we'll look out for this.
So based on everything else, it doesn't sound like we as a building committee, need our assistance specifically here. Yeah, just
No.
attendance is required.
Attendance is required. It's also, this is an important part that we're trying to let everybody know. It's standing room only. So be prepared to stand. We'll have water available, so it's going to be 84 degrees with no shade. So
So then in
in the evening, maybe a little cooler, maybe this time. Yeah. So it's going to be good. I'd rather that than So, you go there, the speakers will have designated seating, we'll have about 50 seats for those that are in need, to sit down, but everything else is standing. And you will be in the picture, so you will be called up for the actual ribbon cutting. 4 students from Farmington High School will actually be cutting the ribbon, and behind them will be building committee members, town council, board of ed, our speakers, and our professional partners. So there'll be a tight squeeze behind.
Do you want to mention that we're encouraging them to come sooner than 5?
Yes, please account for Farmington traffic. I know. I don't have any. But it's just parking logistics are going to be the biggest part of this, with this many people, so. So I would recommend showing up early, probably 4:15. They're pretty big. We packed them out in our office, so it's.
Her follow-up question might be, what are you doing with them?
I know, yeah. All right, as far as communication is concerned, the only thing we really talked about was, a quick conversation about press releases and getting information out to the press about the event, and then following up with more specific information for them to be able to cover kind of post-event details. And then we also talked about the newsletter. So the newsletter will be going out mid-September-ish, somewhere around that, which is really kind of a highlight of the opening. It's kind of a reboot of the poster, if you remember, that we sent out at the fold out that we did. We're kind of updating that with language and pictures. And then I'm giving people that, we'll add some more details with thank yous. So that would be a follow-up. We do anticipate obviously additional communication after that, as we continue on with the project, so we have more work to do, obviously. So that certainly won't be our last newsletter, but that's kind of will be our post-event communication. And one thing in our communications leading up to this event too, that we're trying to remind everyone of is we're substantially complete. This is the completion of one phase of the project. We still have demolition, site work, renovation. So just kind of level setting those expectations as you're coming up the site that it's still partially in the construction. Any questions or anything? Communication? All good there. Financial subcommittee reports, nothing specific other than the items that we're going to talk about that have been vetted by the financial subcommittee report that are included in our first review. Covered. No, that's not included. That are not included here, so nothing else in addition for financial subcommittee. And then we have something for financial report. Yep, just one additional line item on this financial report, our website, annual hosting fee we just paid for. Again, we do have another year of this project, so we want to make sure that we still have that website up and running. So that one has been paid for, and then any ribbon cutting related expenses will be coming out of this account. That's kind of what we reserve some of these funds for, so next month you'll see some of those expenses. Questions on that? Okay, let's move right on to item B then. So I have a motion to do the following with text of Farmington High School as presented.
So
Second. Open this up for discussion. All right, so the first invoice on here is PSAP Studio in the amount of $82,465.12, and this is for professional services rendered through July 31st. Questions? Next is O&G, and I'll have Nelson give an overview of that.
The payment application, the final, review copy, will be reviewed at the first with professional partners, and then at the subcommittees committee meeting, we adjusted it down by roughly $100,000. Various changes. Final amount is $5,263,003. $1,076.
Any questions? All right.
All right, next is IMTL, which is our materials testing. This invoice is in the amount of $1,315.17. This is reviewed by ONG and they approve for payment. They vet against reports and signings and verify that the work. So that one is recommended. Just keep going. Next is IES. This is our commissioning agent. This is just for services rendered through, I believe it's July, $17,223.30. And again, reviewed and approved by. Next, we have project manager. This is Russ's invoice in the amount of $8,994.70. I believe it spans the end of June through the beginning of August, and the backup timesheets are included as well. Next is Arcadis in the amount of $17,822.50. This is for professional services related to the project management owner's rep services for the high school and loop management, which, as you can imagine, was in full swing during this invoice period. The next 1, 2, 3, 4 invoices are for Vintage King Audio. This is part of our technology contracts that we have. All of these invoices are reviewed by Matt Ross and his team and to ensure that we've received these items. So all of these have been verified and recommended for payment. Environmental Systems Company is the next invoice. They actually have 2 invoices on here. Again, that is for technology and verified by Matt Ross and his team that these items have been received. SHI is another one. They have 3 invoices on here. These are technology, and these 3 invoices complete their balance for their PO. So they have provided everything that we've ordered from them. All items have been received, and these 3 invoices have been verified by Matt Ross. Atlas Technical Consultant. This is our hazardous materials group, $15,936.03. And this is for work performed during the abatement and demolition for the previous month. Insalco Corporation, this is for FF&E. Their invoice is in the amount of $73,596.27. This completes the balance on their PO. These items have been received and recommended for payment by TSKD, who verified all the FF&E invoices. Interscape is the next group on here. This invoice is in the amount of $589,320.58. This group, we had given consensus for a deposit a few months prior. So you'll see on this invoice that was paid plus this month's invoice. So this completes the balance on their PO and all items were received. Strategic Spaces, this is in the amount of $122,538.56. If you are on the financial subcommittee, this invoice was 7 cents higher than they were supposed to bill. So we do check every penny of this project. They have reissued the invoice, and this is within their allowable amount, and this completes their PO. Sweetwater Sound Holdings, this is a technology invoice, $11,299.50. This was reviewed by Matt Ross and his team and recommended for payment. Robert H. Lord, this is FF&E furniture, $462,228. Robert H. Lord holds the biggest contract for this. It's over $1 million. So they still have some remaining items on their PO, which have been delivered, but the invoicing is lagging. JT Homes, they are, I believe, FF&E, $70,818.07. This is their application number 3, reviewed by Arcadis on this one and recommended for payment. William B. Meyer is our mover. like I said, they've been very active, the invoice is in the amount of $18,849.50. Recommended for payment by our Arcadis and Tom Lee, who's managing that. And then we are getting into the invoices, I mean, the PCOs. So PCO 140.
140 is a change order. We had to add an electrical outlet for the receptionist desk in the admin area. It was left off the drawings. The amount of 2019, I think from the owner's contingency. PCO 141R is to add some steel, structural steel to hold that the projector screen up because it wasn't there to begin with. So when we got the details, then we need to add steel for $7,084. The next 4 items are going to come out of the construction management contingency account. There's a 20,000 gallon tank, oil tank that was for the fuel supply for the high school, the old high school. That's being removed. Let's say there was about 4,500 gallons left in it.
Total between the two.
Yeah, so there is, part of this cost includes the removal and disposal of the existing fuel that was left in the tank for $55,413. The next item, PCO 144, is to remove 2 additional tanks. One is above ground that was behind the auto and wood shop. That was a 6,000 gallon tank or 3,000 gallon tank. And we have a 6,000 gallon tank that was at the end of the 900 wing. That was buried for the dual fuel system for the 900 wing. We're all going full gas. There is no more dual fuel requirement. So felt it was best to remove that buried fuel tank and get rid of any issue with we would have for that in the future at this point in time. So that cost was $24,202. PCO 145 was to add additional structural steel to reduce the angle of the truss to hang the wrestling mats. The hoist for that, and that was for $14,803. PCO 147 was to add 2 posts for the ADA buttons and the up 2 exterior doors. They were shown on the drawing but not signed anywhere for $27.98 12 cents. That concludes the PCOs for the high school for this month.
Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Go right on to item 2, then motion to approve the following invoice payment for central office as presented. Second, discussion. So the first invoice here, TSBP Studio, this is their typical monthly invoice amount, $5,600 for professional services for the central office. And then there is one PCO for central office, PCO 143.
PCO 143, there's a large stuff that is up above the ceiling. In order to construct the walls, they have to go up and be secured to the steel that's above the ceiling grid. So we have to relocate that duct in order to accommodate the wall. And that cost is $22,895. This cost here is part of another PCO that we approved a couple months ago for the redesign of the office. Again, I'm not working for ONG, but they did a great job for this. They really went back and reiterated what the requirements were for these 2 change orders, knowing that our contingency, the dollar amount is very limited. So this is, I think, we took about $15,000 or $20,000 off this original cost that it came through just for this item. Credit to the Nelson's team. They really worked hard. They kept going back and beat up their subs and got it down to this number.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Right, we'll move right on to item 3, then motion to approve the check only equipment request in the amount of $7,088. Second. All right, we'll open this one up for discussion.
So we had, this is a non-reimbursable expense, relative project to add additional small kitchen appliances, pools, silverware, bowls, mixing bowl, spoons, blenders, microwave, whatever. It was your Captain Garrity submitted a 48-page request. But no, it's basically to keep the culinary program up and running. So that is part of that it's really appropriate to charge.
And
Did we get the trash cans on this list?
No, I appreciate it. No,
Couple of questions.
anybody got a shot? Yeah.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
Get this down to one piece of paper.
If you guys remember the culinary, reading the culinary program, you know, kind of acting like, and students for these facilities is a big part of the conversation we have with the school, so making sure that that started on the best foot possible, I think that's important part.
No, I assume this was vetted with teachers.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, we have a new teacher. She's phenomenal and she's ready to get this thing up and running. And then we worked very closely with her to make sure we had exactly what she needed to start the year. So this startup will get us all right on.
Any questions on that? Okay.
Yeah.
Online.
I'm just like looking at the numbers side, because I've got a culinary program in my school district too, so I just want to make sure that when you talk to these numbers, they see some of the items are really just 1 through 6, that's enough to accommodate a classroom set, right? Okay. So I know you guys see that price, so if you go on that way, you can see
The amount.
the amount of it. There's one or two, like 1 or 2 kids are in fight, like 12 kids are in fight on the whole thing. Just want to make sure that. If you talk to.
Yeah, and it was that we did have some equipment as well. So it was
Okay.
compared to things that we already had. And these were.
Okay, so this is additional, this isn't like the whole custom set, okay, that makes more sense. I was wondering, I was like, they're gonna fight over. We brought some equipment over for us throughout this era.
You're part of that area.
I saw this blender, I was, what year was this? That's what I asked. I mean, it's, you know, we kept as much as we could. And so, yes, very industrial. We tried that side, right, because that stuff is hard to find and they last, you know, they're not just like 5 years ago. Ross remembered using it.
That was from the old cafeteria.
Was it? Everything about it.
All right, okay, no other questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
All right, motion passes on that one. All right, can I have a motion to approve the attached proposal for William B. Meyer Inc. for additional labor to complete the move at Farmington High School in the amount of $37,500.
So
Second.
Open it up for discussion. So this is an additional not to exceed amount, just in case. We may run into that. There's a lot of equipment that they brought over from the old school that we're relocating to the new school. And this is in case we need additional funding to continue and finish what we got left to do. So it's going to be close, but we talk with time, meeting, and feel this is an appropriate amount for not to exceed at this point.
does this sort of exist as an allowance?
Correct. It's a just in case. And that's why we asked, we're talking, seeing everything that's left to go and where they are. We've had them, the contractor do things, move other materials that really went into scope. So just to keep it fluid and keep this, all the equipment coming over. So that's why this, we're asking for this to be included as part of the cost.
Any other questions on that one? All right, all in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll move on to item 5. Also motion, right? Yes, sorry. Can I get a motion to reappoint Russ Farmington as project manager for the completion of the FHS construction projects from September 1st, 2024 through August 30th, 2025, for an amount not to exceed $75,000, and to authorize the town manager and professional partnership subcommittee to negotiate and sign the memorandum of understanding.
So,
Second.
with my promise to endorse.
You're coming to the table.
All right, we'll open up the discussion.
So Russ's initial agreement, is valid through the end of this month. That was for the completion of the new high school, with the remaining work that is to be done for the high school, the site work, completion of demolition, and potentially adding the bleachers into the project, plus the 900 renovation, working hand in hand with Arcadis on that one. This would just extend the contract for another year, not to exceed 75,000. So we're anticipating the agreement, terms would stay the same, just kind of extending and reapplying for another year.
And if you do remember, we were having these initial conversations where we're making adjustments. We did this very purposefully. We said we're going to bring it out for a year and bring it back to the conversation, making sure that the arrangements work well for projects for Russ. We had great support for Arcadis, and that all was working together. So this is our opportunity to see that.
And I think it's also our opportunity to say that were this were another arrangement, you'd be paying more than what you have been receiving in that compensation. And as much as you offer compliments to everybody else around the table, I feel as though it's an opportunity to share back. You're being very generous to the town of Farmington by what you have offered to provide what you're doing with the money that we're paying. So thank you, and I wish you better luck in negotiations. You got a second bite at the apple.
The Russ really has been great nest.
Good.
Yeah. And great experience for us. So, when we got this promoted, his help, that's helpful, and really the entire community's helpful. Thank you, Russ. Thank you.
We love that. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. All right, any other questions or thoughts? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, I think that leaves us to other business. See you Monday.
I
Yeah.
have one little thing. Let's refer back to our chair report.
Yeah.
I believe that I heard you say that you were glad that you could be part of this. Which sort of underscores the goal, that you weren't simply a part of it before. A lot of the people that are even at this table gathered. You put together a plan and have executed it on it all the time, and we wouldn't be here again. We didn't even have approval of things, so please don't underscore your part. It wasn't a little part.
I do appreciate it. It is, I know we all come to the table. Joint effort and teamwork and collaboration. Everybody plays their part of this. I think all of us have brought unique perspective. That's why I think this has been so successful. You don't think if I can do one. The more I'm talking, the more my family is really harassing me. No, I'm so happy. But anyways, I think it is, that is the reason why we are where we are. It's because everybody came to the table with their unique skill sets, their experiences, and with the common goal. And I honestly did believe that, so. I know this is a great attitude. How many times do you sit around a table and after every comment, there's a compliment? So kudos to the team to be able to come together like that. So thank you. I do appreciate it. Am I gonna sit here and say, well, she's never gonna end? Something right up on you. Yeah. But thank you. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to thank everyone, as a collective committee and the individual roles that you have played. Like, this has felt like a dream for the last 5 years. And to have teachers in the building today, well, I can't even explain the joy, like the administrative team and the appreciation that we have for all of you, but it really has felt like this felt so far away until even, this morning. But I can't wait for the ribbon cutting on Monday for students to come in on Tuesday, but it's all possible because of the people in this room. So just wanted to thank you.
Do you have personal orientation?
Yeah, first orientation. Can't wait. Every step is it's been awesome. So looking forward to it.
Makes you want to sign up for another building. All right. So anything else? I think the only other thing would be if you notice we don't have, anything around our next meeting, we should kind of cancel our meeting in September meeting. We are going to keep that on the calendar, so keep that in mind. We might have some communication things we have to discuss and maybe some follow-up. As we move into October, we are talking about doing, if you remember, another community event in October, hopefully to open up, for people to take a tour of the building. So we'll discuss in the details as well. So keep that in mind. Is it the same?
We initially, we talked about October 5th.
No, not a meeting.
Oh, the meeting is, our first September meeting is the first, yeah, it would be regular meeting, so TV.
So keep that in mind. I don't know, we'll take a look at that. I don't think it's taken quite off the calendar. All right, any other last comments and thoughts?
Just looking forward to Monday. Having a special time together and, thanking everyone, all of you that have been part of it. I feel so fortunate. I can remember back in 2011 when we presented an auditorium lineup and Nancy Dickerson said, you really should look at the whole building. And we're like, we should. We should look at the whole building. And then when we looked at the whole building, the news wasn't good. Right? And then people have gone through this process and you think of how long we've been engaged in this work. And then to see the end product, Farmington, everyone here just gives their talents and, their service. And then you see this impact, and it's a great model for our kids because we want them to see all of you doing this, and then they do that now and in the future. And so I really looking forward to Monday, and then Tuesday being just a great day for all of us. And we're saying this is our year of celebration in public schools, and we're just going to keep this spirit and energy alive the whole year. It is a once in a lifetime project. And all of you, the team, my team and the town and all the volunteers and, it's just elected officials. I can't thank everyone enough because this will not just benefit, in our lifetimes. This goes on beyond our time. It's really very, very special. Thank you.
And if history repeats itself, it'll go on for another 100 years.
Yeah. We'll be there for the 50th. We'll be there for
Okay, all right, I think we are good. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion? Okay. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, we will adjourn at 6:50.